sea legs. I don't have sea legs. I have marathon legs. Yeah, my legs hurt. Welcome back to my channel. In this vlog, I will recap the week leading up to and the day of the 2024 Surf City Marathon. Even though this wasn't going to be a Boston qualifier attempt, this is a story about overcoming some struggles I've been dealing with regarding the marathon distance. Good morning! It is January 31st, so 4 days before the Surf City Marathon, and I'm here on my last speed workout. So what's on tap today? 3 miles warm up, which I'm doing right now, and then in the last 1.5 miles, I'm going to be doing some speed work alternating between marathon pace and 10K pace. Okay, first marathon pace interval was at 8:08, so a little faster than I should be going. Okay, that second marathon pace interval, 8:16, so slowing down and getting closer to what my goal pace should be. Still, I was going too fast for my race goal of a 3:50 finish. And that last marathon pace interval, 8:02, whoops, went back, being a little too fast, and there's no way I'm running that fast on race day, but at least it's good to know that if I run slower than that, it should feel a lot easier. And now, get ready to do the 10K paces for a minute. Okay, first 10K pace interval, or 1 minute interval, 7:13. Second 10K pace interval, for 1 minute, I think it was like 7:20 or something, so we're good there. And that very last 1 minute 10K interval pace, 7:17 or 7:20. I'll check at the very end there. So looks like I did it. I did this workout. So I ended up running about 0.65 miles extra over today's assignment, which was 4.5. And I think that's because I just needed more distance to cover all of my intervals. So this last speed workout session was a much needed confidence boost. I know in my last video, it seemed like I was getting burned out from all the training. It's just, all those weeks of mileage, didn't get much of a rest between CIM and Surf City, but that was my fault. Like, I signed up for 2 back-to-back races with very little time in between to rest. So yeah, today really perked up my spirits. And now I'm gonna go back, shower, and then get ready for a 10-hour evening shift. So that might actually be more of a marathon there with how things are going at work. On top of dealing with my burnout and fatigue, there was a major storm system coming into California at the end of the week and overlapping race day. This was supposed to be one of the largest storms in California history. This atmospheric river had actually flooded a section of the Pacific Coast Highway that was on the Surf City course. Part of me wondered what would happen if the course did flood. We didn't sign up for a Spartan race. Cue the compulsive weather checking that would haunt me in the middle of the night. At least the first set of storms cleared up on the Friday before the race. It is February 2nd, so 2 days before the Surf City Marathon, and I'm here on my 20-minute shakeout run, or at least I'm finishing it up. Shakeout run completed and was a little confidence boost for race day. Look at that last mile, and I didn't feel like I had to exert myself. However, it did rain later that afternoon, even though my weather app didn't project it. Now, I was starting to doubt whether the weather app was accurate in its projection that it was going to be dry in the morning. Where there is rain, there is a rainbow. Maybe this was a sign that everything was going to be all right. And even though I've been feeling unmotivated in the last 8 weeks between CIM and Surf City, seeing that rainbow provided me some comfort. You would think that the rain would scare people away, but nope. I barely found parking here at the Haven City Market. That's right, I like getting my carbo loading done here at the Haven City Market because there's plenty of stalls. I'm not sure what I want yet, but I'm sure the inspiration will strike once I start walking inside. Alright, I think I know what I want. I want ramen because it's cold outside, so this is perfect ramen weather. And then your drink, right? Okay, great, thanks. Yeah, so it's so crowded here. There's really no seating, so I'm just going to take it to go and eat it at home. The ramen survived the trip home without spilling or making a huge mess. So this is the bushy black sole ramen. Looks pretty good, and I'm excited because it has 101 grams of carbs. I spent more time scrolling over the weather report than reviewing my race plan. I normally don't race with a hat or a visor, but I will in this case because it might be raining tomorrow. Despite the rain, I'm still gonna wear a tank top because I figure that I'm gonna get wet anyways, and I overheat in a jacket. And then there's my bottle that's gonna fit in the flip belt because there's not that many water stations in the last 10 miles on the beach path. And there's my energy gels, and then I gotta figure out how I'm gonna protect these salt tabs because they may get wet and disintegrate. And I have 2 shoes here because it's gonna be a race day decision. Do I go with my new Vaporfly 3s, or if it's raining, I'm just gonna wear these Vaporfly 2s because I don't wanna get my new shoes wet. The solution to keeping my salt tabs dry is to put them in little snack bags. So I'm gonna put these in my side pockets. They'll definitely be dry and they won't disintegrate in the rain. It's race morning and I woke up before my alarm set for 3:15 a.m. to check the weather. We actually might be safe from the rain after all. Looking back on it, I'm not sure why I was wasting a lot of mental energy worrying about the rain. This wasn't going to be my BQ attempt, but I still wanted to prove myself that I can hit a 3:50 marathon. Last year, I ran a 3:55 at Surf City. Over the past year, I felt like I've been getting stronger and faster, so the expectation was that I would be able to sub 3:50.
Good morning! It's February 4th. It's Marathon Sunday, and I'm here at the Huntington Beach parking lots, and it's actually 5 a.m. This is the earliest I've ever gotten to the parking lot because usually I get here like around 5:30 because I get stuck in the traffic back up on Beach Boulevard. Well, so far things are looking good with the weather. It was pretty dry coming up here, and I think because of all of the warnings about the flooding that could happen over the next few days, scared a lot of people from being on the road, so there was actually no traffic. So I'm gonna do one more weather check before deciding which pair of shoes I'm gonna put on. Am I gonna put on the Vaporfly 3s? Or am I going to put on my old Vaporfly 2s? It's going to depend on how wet they're projecting this morning is going to be.
I feel like I've been moonlighting as a weather forecaster these last few days.
Yeah, I mean, I looked. It's probably not going to rain, but I do see some rain clouds off the coast, and I'm just worried that the winds are going to blow some of that moisture over. So just to be on the safe side, I'll stick to the Vaporfly 2s.
I feel like a bag lady. I have so much stuff with me because I'm worried about being wet at the end of the race. So I have my dry clothes in here and then my other pair of shoes. Even though the marathon wasn't going to start until 6:30, I was here early to pick up my bib since I had opted for race day pickup.
Gotta go find the bib pickup and the gear check.
Well, because I'm here super early, there's nobody at the gear check, but just as well because I don't have my clear check-in bag yet. There we go. This is exactly what I was looking for.
Okay, so I guess the problem with coming here a little early is that not even the bib pickup tent is open yet. It's not going to open for another 10 minutes. Oops.
Yay, it looks like they're finally opening up. Hello. Sure.
We have a women's swag.
Okay. Yes, please. The race swag. I love the reusable bag that comes with it.
And I also picked up my legacy shirt for running this race in consecutive years.
Now time to head back to the gear check and get myself organized because I have all of this race swag with me now.
Just shed my outer layer, put in the gear check bag, and so I checked in my bag. This is what I'm going with. It's 50 degrees, so it is a little chilly, but it is ideal racing conditions.
As I entered the start area, a sense of relief came over me. I was looking more forward to completing this race and putting this disastrous training block behind me. I felt like I was still recovering from training for CIM in December of last year, and it was a long training block. I didn't fulfill my goal of a 3:45 finish at Sacramento, so maybe that disappointment was still lingering in me. It can be demoralizing to keep training and running when you're not meeting your own expectations. I've showed up to all of my workouts and even completed my long runs when I didn't want to. Perfect attendance doesn't always translate to perfect performance despite what all of those motivational videos. Maybe my expectations needed to be tweaked.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Time to get focused.
You'll see the VW bus is going to be leading your way. Cameras right in front of you on LB West. That big bright light is waving at him. Don't run him over, though.
Who's running the Beach City Challenge?
It's always exciting to run along PCH in the first few miles. I felt like I started the first 5 miles a little fast, but I did try to make corrections to slow myself down for the rest of the first half. As we ran through Central Park, I felt like I was running easy, and the goal was to be conservative and turn it up a notch around mile 14. Looks like I hit the first half around 1:57, which is a tad slower than the plan, but not too far off. I started having a gnawing ache in my left hip around mile 16, which started the downward spiral. I could feel myself slowing down. Then around mile 17, the 4-hour pace group passed me, and I figured if I could keep them within my sight, I could finish under 4:10. I was still running, albeit slowly, until I hit mile 19 when I had to start walking. My legs just felt tight and I couldn't generate enough power.
Hello from mile 19. Well, Eagle, Beagle, Seagull are all gone now. I guess my new goal is get back before it rains. I was doing okay for the first half, and then somewhere around mile 16, I got a gnawing pain in my left hip. I can still move, but I don't feel like I can generate power. Oh. I've been so glad to see the turnaround. Yay! Turning around to go home.
Well, at least I now know what true easy running is because I was way slower than my usual easy pace. Now it became a run-walk plan. It didn't help that the headwinds were coming in strong, blowing away whatever last hopes I had for even a sub 4:10 finish at that point.
So, past 22 miles, and the winds are whipping, and my legs hurt too.
3.5 miles from this point. You got this. Outstanding work.
I hate to tell that guy, but it was not 5K from the finish line. It was more like 7K, but I know he was trying to be encouraging. I was just being grumpy at this point.
I have a little less than 5K, but seriously, this is the longest and slowest 5K I've ever done.
I kept walking up until mile 24 when I was almost hit by a speeding cyclist who should have slowed down. Did he not realize there's a race with all these people running with bibs? He was coming in the opposite direction and swerved into my lane. I was super angry and I channeled that anger into running nonstop for the rest of the 2.2 miles to the finish line.
Hey, last 1.2 miles, we can do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna bring it home. We're gonna beat the rain.
there. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Here we go. Going into the finisher chute. Half over there, full over here. Why? Because well, marathoners are the coolest. We get our own lane.
Apologies.
Good job, good job.
There we go. Finishing strong, finishing strong.
A lot of marathoners coming through.
A lot of half marathoners about to beat 3:05.
This was one of my worst times in the history of running this course since 2016, but I guess you can have a bad race when you run this course enough times. I had paced myself conservatively in the first half, which was fine because I was hoping to keep enough energy in the bank for the second half. But you can see here how I dramatically slowed down in the second half.
Tell Mom you made it.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Ooh, and it's windy and it didn't rain. That's the most important thing. I gotta keep moving because if I stop, I start cramping. At least the towels were dry. I wonder what would have happened if it had started raining and they were handing out wet towels. Usually, the weather at Surf City is warm and sunny, but today, it being cloudy and windy, I felt like I was about to go into hypothermia in my sweaty clothes. No re-entry? Don't worry. I wanted to leave that race experience behind me and move on. The post-race party normally is festive, but with me being cold, all I could think about was getting my bag with my warm clothes. Wow, okay, so it's a tent full of free stuff. So we're gonna get some free stuff here because I didn't run 26.2 miles for nothing.
Thank you. You woke me up. You saved my life.
Thank you. I'm gonna do a shot of an energy drink. Exactly what we're looking for. All right, cheers.
It's actually pretty good.
And now the walk to the car. Again, if I stop moving, I'm seriously gonna start cramping up. So this is good that I'm walking. And it is so cold right now. I'm glad that I had my jacket in my gear check bag. The perks of paying for parking on the beach and getting to the parking lot early. Fortunately, I didn't have to walk too far. Oh, it feels so nice to be back in my car. It's nice and warm in here. It is so cold out there. It wasn't quite the race that I wanted, but you know, I gotta live with the results. When you run a lot of races, not all races are gonna have a PR, or you may not even hit your C goal. It's the law of diminishing returns. I mean, you know, run a lot, eventually you're gonna hit a plateau at some point. Today was the toughest run in a long time. It was even tougher when I had spasmed at CIM about 8 weeks ago. I thought my fueling was on point, and then in the last couple of weeks, I've been hitting my speed sessions. Just goes to show that you really can't predict what's gonna happen on race day. But the important thing is that I finished. It was just very tough today. I did a lot worse than I did last year, and today's results is one of my worst results at this race. But oh well, I finished, and that's all I can, ask for. Progress isn't linear, so today definitely was a couple of steps back. But, look at it this way. At least it was a long run for LA Marathon in about 6 to 7 weeks. Today was a test of my grit.
So my mind really wanted to run. It was just that my legs, they couldn't generate the power to hit the speeds that I was supposed to hit. But I did not DNF. I finished. And that's all I could ask for. So now I'm going to rest and recover for the next couple of weeks and then figure out what I'm going to do for the LA Marathon.
With that, I took off my Vaporflies and put them away just like how I wanted to put away today's race experience. As I drove home to beat the incoming storm, the disappointment gave way to a sense of reinvigoration. I kept thinking about my near head-on collision with the cyclists on the beach path at mile 24. That definitely would have resulted in a DNF and serious injuries that would have prevented me from running for the next few months. The thought of that potential loss snapped me out of my funk. All during the race, I was questioning my choices for hobbies, but that near miss confirmed that I wanted to continue running. PCH later flooded that evening from the rain. Guess we can celebrate not having the race be shortened by the flood. And so we had our biggest storm in recent history for the next 3 days, which forced me to rest and recuperate since I couldn't go outside to do even a recovery run. It got me thinking how you can prepare well but flounder on race day. Reminds me of a student who did well on all the pre-tests and bombed the SATs, or the UFC fighter who had a great training camp but gets knocked out in the first minute in the octagon. Even the greatest marathoner of all time, Eliud Kipchoge, came up short in the 2023 Boston Marathon, but he did not DNF. But that's life. You can crush every workout, but still come up short. But you just got to get over it. I'll see you at the Los Angeles Marathon in the next few weeks.